ocean was quiet, still, endless. A velvet black canvas stretching beyond the edge of reason. Dexter's fingers tightened around the heavy trash bag weighted, with parts of a man who had once worn a badge but wielded it like a weapon. One more monster. One more piece of the puzzle cleaned. He dragged the bag to the edge of the boat. The familiar rhythm of ritual settled over him like muscle memory. Unlace the ties, lift the burden, feed it to the dark. Then a click, cold and sharp like reality. Snapping, Dexter turned slowly. There, standing at the stern of his boat, gun raised and steady, was Sergeant James Doakes. His eyes were wide with triumph and horror. "That's right, motherfucker," Doakes said, voice low and lethal. "It's over." Dexter's body tensed, but his face remained calm. "How'd you find me?" Doakes spat on the deck, keeping the gun trained. "GPS tap on your boat." "Jesus Christ." "Morgan? Jesus fucking Christ. You're the Bay Harbor Butcher." Dexter tilted his head. "I really hate that name." Doakes looked like he might combust from rage and disbelief. "Jesus Christ, man." "You said that already," Dexter noted. Doakes stepped closer, fury barely contained. "I always knew there was something with you. The phony smile, the neat little blood reports, the way you never blinked around corpses. But this shit, what can I say?" Dexter shrugged. "You were right about me. I never held it against you. I don't know." Doakes' jaw tightened. His voice cracked slightly. A trace of something personal surfacing. "My buddies thought I was crazy for becoming a cop. I had skills. So I could have written my own ticket. Hell, I was damn good. But lately, started to wonder if I wasted it. If they were right." He glanced at the bag. The weight of truth, freshly dead. "But this," he muttered, "this makes it all worth it." Dexter offered a small smile. "I'm happy for you. Shut the fuck up." Doakes pulled zip ties from his jacket and tossed them at Dexter's feet. "Let's get this over with." Put M on Dexter, crouched slowly. No sudden movements. But in the quiet, his eyes flicked toward the back hatch of the boat. Small movement. It's nothing more. Doakes didn't miss it. "Morgan," he growled. "You're done. Give it up." Dexter looked up at him. "Calm, measured, would you?" he asked. "In my position?" "I wouldn't be in your position, you sick fuck." "Are you sure about that?" Dexter said, voice lowering. "Want to check with Lundy?" Doakes blinked. The hell does that mean? Dexter's expression darkened just enough to be noticed. "Hey, you shoot me. Who's going to prove your innocence?" Doakes scoffed. "They'll just kneecap. You." He took another step forward. "Close now. Too close." "All right," he said, raising the gun. "Nice and slow. Back the fuck off, Morgan." Dexter raised his hands. "Just following your lead. Slow down. Easy." The moment broke. Dexter moved like instinct. Fast. Precise. He slammed into Doakes, knocking them both backward. Crashing into the lower deck, they hit the floor hard. Doakes landed a punch solid, jaw-rattling, but Dexter didn't stop. A steel pole slid into Dexter's hand. He swept Doakes' legs, driving him down. A struggle, a grunt. Then a needle sunk, clean into Doakes' neck. Doakes thrashed, breath-catching. Muscles tensed. Then failed, his vision tilted. The ceiling swam. Darkness swallowed him whole. He woke to steel bars and silence. The air was musty, humid. The kind of air that clung to your skin. Mosquitoes buzzed faintly in the distance. Somewhere deep in the Everglades. He sat up, slowly. His arms ached. Shackles bit into his wrists. The cell was small, reinforced, designed by someone who understood confinement, outside the bars. Dexter sat calmly, hands folded, his expression unreadable. "You're safe," Dexter said. 4. Now Doakes forced himself upright. "You sick bastard." Dexter didn't blink. "You left me no choice. I didn't want this." "Bullshit. This is exactly what you wanted." Doakes' voice was raw, angry. "Gauge your problems. Tidy up the world, one body at a time." Dexter sighed. "I was going to kill you," he said honestly. "I considered it. You were right there. But I didn't. That has to mean something. It means you're a coward. Or worse, you want something. Dexter leaned closer to the bars, eyes locking with Doakes's. You know, the kinds of people I kill. Doakes didn't respond. Dexter went on. Rapists, murderers, the ones that slip through the cracks. You've seen it too. You know how many walk free. Still nothing. I don't want to hurt you, Dexter said. But I need to know, what are you going to do? Doakes stared through him. Long silence. Finally, his voice came low and honest. I don't fucking know. Dexter stood. I'll give you time to figure it out. The cage door closed with a mechanical click, and Doakes was left alone, breathing. Heavy in a cage designed by a monster. It's built for another. Asterisk, the light bulb above flickered, buzzing faintly. Like an insect on its last breath, Doakes paced inside the cage, shackles removed but the bars still locked. The cot creaked beneath his weight each time he sat and stood again, restless. Dexter had left a small tray of food outside the gate, untouched for hours. A gesture of politeness from a man who wore politeness like a mask. And yet, he hadn't killed him. That detail scratched at Doakes' brain like a dull knife. A week passed. Maybe more. Dexter didn't visit often, and when he did, it was brief. He checked on the cell, offered water or meals. Sometimes just sat silently and wrote in a notebook something meticulous. Doakes had learned to watch back. He saw how Dexter cataloged, organized, studied, not like a killer. Like a hunter, no, a biologist. One who dissected sickness, one target at a time. The walls of the cabin were lined with folders, newspaper clippings, case files, each one pinned with red thumbtacks and labeled with neat block letters. Names. Victims' dates, photos of crime scenes that never made the news. It was a morgue of the forgotten people failed by the system. People nobody missed, and the monsters who had taken them. Doakes recognized some of the names, and worse, he recognized the faces that weren't arrested. One day, Dexter opened the gate and set a chair down just outside the bars, slid a file. Across the floor to Doakes. His name is Arturo Martinez, Dexter said. Owns 3 massage parlors. They're a front for a trafficking ring. Doakes picked up the file slowly. Inside were photos of bruised women, dead girl, no older than 15, found in a dumpster.
And police reports with redacted witness statements.
Nothing that stuck. He pays off half of Miami Metro, Dexter continued. 2 raids both mysteriously cleared out before we arrived. Doakes closed the folder, his jaw tight. You expecting me to approve this shit? No, Dexter said. I'm just showing you what I see. Doakes stood. You think this is proof you're some kind of vigilante? That you're needed? Dexter didn't respond. You think putting these bastards on a table makes you a hero? Dexter looked him straight in the eye. No. I think it keeps them from doing it again. Doakes was silent for a long moment. Why me? He asked. You were the only one who ever saw me. It's the only one who didn't buy the mask. That's not a compliment. It's the truth. Doakes stared at the folder again, then at the cage. Take me with you, he said finally. Dexter's brow raised slightly. What? You want me to believe in this code? Then I want to see it in action. Dexter hesitated. Then he opened the gate. Later that night, downtown Miami, the streets were alive with neon and noise. Dexter's black van was parked near an abandoned warehouse Arturo used to store product. The windows were blacked out. Inside, the tools were laid out like a surgeon's tray, precise, cold, necessary. Doakes sat across from him, was watching. No chains, no gun, just tension. Do you always prep like this? Doakes asked. Dexter nodded. Control is important. Chaos leads to mistakes, and mistakes lead to innocent people getting hurt. That's why the code exists. Doakes said nothing. Minutes passed, then dash movement. The warehouse lights flicked on. Arturo had arrived. Dexter opened the van door. Doakes followed. The takedown was swift. A syringe. A collapse. Dexter moved like shadow. Arturo awoke, strapped to the table. Plastic sheeting covered the room. Pictures of his victims surrounded him, staring down like silent ghosts. He screamed. Of course they all did. Dexter stood over him, calm. Doakes lingered in the corner, fists clenched. This man trafficked over 40 women in the last 2 years. Dexter said, 6 were underage, 2 are dead. Miami Metro dropped the case twice. Picked up a scalpel. Arturo's voice cracked. Please, I got kids. Dexter paused. Dex stepped forward. You had daughters in your cargo trucks. Arturo, you don't get to plead family now, Arturo sobbed. Dexter looked at Doakes. I can give you the knife. Doakes froze. The room was deathly quiet. Dexter offered it again. You said you wanted to see the code. This is part of it. Doakes approached. Took the blade. His hand shook. For the first time in a long time. James Doakes hesitated. He didn't use the knife. Not that night. But he didn't stop Dexter. Either he watched silently from the corner, then helped clean up. Back at the cabin, Doakes sat on the porch as the sun rose. Casting gold light across the swamp, Dexter handed him coffee. No words were exchanged for a while. Then Doakes finally spoke. You're still a monster. Dexter nodded. I know, but maybe. Doakes said slowly. You're the monster we need. Dexter didn't smile, didn't thank him, just sat beside him. The two of them. As broken men, watching the morning burn the night away. The alliance wasn't built on friendship, not even trust, just the cold, hard understanding that sometimes the system isn't enough and monsters are sometimes the only ones who can hunt monsters.